Hello, everyone. It's Emily here, and I am so excited, ignited, and ready to welcome you to the It Factor show hosted by yours truly. You may be thinking, oh my goodness, what is this It Factor? And what it is something that I'm deeply passionate about training on and really helping you discover your own personal It Factor so you can step in to your zone of genius, so you can step into your greatness and you can move your brand further, your life further, your businesses further. And this show is really all about helping you identify it, extract it, and live it. So, with that being said, we're going to dive into our first episode here today, which is all about the law of the lid. Have you ever heard of the law of the lid? Maybe you have in leadership. It's talked about in leadership quite a bit. But what I have found is there's a lid on your life. There's an absolute lid on your life. We all put lids on our lives, whether it's consciously or subconsciously, that trickles into every area of your life. Okay. So, a great example of this would be you have hit a lid. Maybe you've hit a rank in your business. You've hit a career mark, and maybe that was hard for you to get there. It was a climb to get there. But once you've achieved that rank, you have flatlined, right? We see this all the time in leadership. We see this all the time in building businesses. Maybe for years, you climbed your way up a ladder, you've stretched yourself to grow a business. And then once you got there, you realized, or maybe you haven't realized it, but you stopped working hard. You stopped striving. Maybe you hit a rank and it's a unbelievable amount of money that you weren't used to before, so you got comfortable. And I've seen this, and even for myself, is we start reading our own news clippings. We start to feel like we've arrived. And the danger of that is that's when you truly begin your decline. So I recognized that I hit a lid early in my career when I was first building my first business within network marketing. So I started network marketing when I was 23, no business experience. And I started to build and I started to achieve an income that I could only dream of. I started making more money in a week than I had previously made in a year's time. And this was so much success and such a new life. There was new levels. I could spend more, I could do more, I had more opportunity. And what quickly started to happen is I got comfortable with this. And got the praise when I went places. It was, you know, I'm the smartest person in the room. There was just so much noise that little 26-year-old me, when I became a seven-figure earner, I was so foreign to me. And I quickly realized if I didn't continue to increase my environment, increase my mindset, increase my habits, increase really how I was living my life, then I was going to hit a lid. And that scared me because I have seen so many people in my career achieve a great amount of success and then they flatline and then they eventually decline. I've seen this over and over again. And I have had countless people in my career, which I'm so grateful of, ask me like, "Oh my gosh, how do you continue to grow? You hit this years ago, but you now have new businesses and you've evolved." And it's because I understand the concept of the lid. And most people that don't live their life consciously never understand this concept. Most people live for the glory days. Most people, they achieve success and maybe it's so foreign to them. Maybe it's an income that they don't know how to handle it. Okay. So this is such a powerful conversation for my note takers, and shout out to my note takers. Like, get ready because I really want to help you lift your lid. I want to help you identify the blockages that you might be having and why you're having that lid because I've experienced it and I know firsthand when you're aware, leaders that have it live with a level of awareness, you're able to break through that lid. Okay. And shout out to my listeners right now. You could be driving in your car. You could be, maybe I know I've got a lot of walkers. I've got a lot of stroller action happening. I love when you tag me on Instagram. I love seeing your dogs that you're walking. I love seeing you doing your routines when you're listening to this. Like, shout out to you right now, first of all, and tag me on social and get ready to lift the lid. Okay, as we dive into this episode, I want you to hashtag lift the lid with me because it's time. It is absolutely time. So how do you lift the lid? Okay, what's the first thing? I would look at your systems. Okay, your systems in life and in business. So your systems are perfectly designed right now to help you get the results that you currently have. Okay. The results that you currently have in your life. So, what does that mean? Your systems, you could have a system of working out and your health. Okay. And is that system currently working for you? It's either yes or no, right? You're either doing it or you're not. What's the system of your household with how you operate? Do you have systems like I do? And I talk about this relentlessly and theming your days and productivity. But for me, like a system is ordering my groceries on Sunday night. It's studying my calendar so that way I don't wake up in a frenzy and not have everything ready to go, ready to be aligned. A system can be when you're cleaning your house, a system can be organization. But if we look at systems in business, this is massive. Your current systems, this is the level you're going to grow. So if you're operating in your business and you're the one doing everything, and maybe there's not systems in place to duplicate yourself, to grow your organization, there's not tools, then you've hit a lid. Okay. So maybe you're working in a business that's, a one on one type of thing, like you trade time for money. Okay. If you would want to grow your organization, your business, you're going to need to grow your systems. You're going to need to come up with hiring out help. You're going to need to come up with maybe training someone how to do what you do. So if I look at this even in my health and wellness business, what this is a perfect example. We help people distribute products. And if there's not a system in place that trains people how to effectively distribute the products, learn how to distribute the products, learn how to start their virtual health and wellness business, then we have hit a lid. We've hit a lid because we need this to be able to continuously grow when I'm not physically doing it, when you're not physically doing it. So this is a great assessment right now is to look at your systems. And, at any time you can rework the systems. At any time you can look at something and go, this currently is not working. There's a clog in the system. Okay. We need a better flow in the system, but it takes slowing down to look at that. I truly believe people that have an increase in their life, people that are wealthy, people that have a tendency to move forward, people that have higher impact, higher influence, they do a tremendous amount of thinking because you really need to be aware and think about what are my systems and how can I improve my systems? Okay, so in your business, could there be a better structure? And you may have to slow down to speed up on this. That's the thing. Like, it takes a minute to reestablish some systems. Okay. What I was just referring to with having a system to duplicate leadership, it might take time for me, which it will, because I'm going to create a new getting started system that I pre record, right? For my organization. It's going to take time for me to put that together. It's going to take time for me to record it. But once I have that in place, everybody can move much, much quicker. So, what are the systems of your life? And what's broken? What's broken? Sometimes when I coach people, when I talk to people, what I realize is that their system is broken or their way of living their life is broken because they haven't really faced their demons. They haven't really looked at, I'll just take something simple like being disorganized, maybe being a pack rat, maybe clutter, maybe you're somebody that hoards everything. Okay, it's broken. There's something broken there, but you have to have the power to say, I want to fix this. And a lot of times it's a psychological block, it's a limiting belief. For some reason, you choose to live in chaos versus hiring someone to come organize versus getting a Marie Kondo book and getting after it and really saying, I want help with this. I need help with this. I need help. And must humble yourself. You must humble yourself and say, I need help. I need help in this area. It's broken. I need to fix it. Okay. So great leaders, level 10 leaders, influential people see that, oh my God, this is broken. I need to fix it. Like, I've had some car trouble lately with my G-Wagon, and I'm relentless, okay, about I got to get this fixed, and I actually think it's time to be done with this car, right? But it's me having the awareness of this is broken. I need to get it fixed. So we're on a mission to get it fixed. Me and my executive assistant, Alexis, we're on a mission to get it fixed. Okay. She's relentless because she knows it's important to me to not have broken things. Okay. So I don't want to live in a broken world. I don't want my world to be broken. So you need to handle your BS, is what I'm really getting to. Because all of that stuff is going to weigh you down. It just absolutely will. Whether it's house stuff that you need to fix, business stuff you need to fix, like what's broken. And again, it's the psychological block of like, I gotta fix this. Humble yourself, ask for help. This is how you increase your lid. Because if you live in chaos, you're going to have a lid. That's why being organized is so important to me. Being efficient is so important to me because if I don't get a handle on my life and my schedule and my household and my relationships and my communication and my business and my structure, then I am going to have a lid on the depth that I can take myself, that I can take my business, that I can take my organization. broken things. We must fix them. I choose not to live in a broken world. I choose to be a fixer. So that's a great affirmation for you. I choose to be a fixer. I choose to solve my problems. And again, you have to slow down to identify, what have you been letting take chaos over your life? What is it? And it's typically a limiting belief. That's really what it is. If you don't want to handle your BS and you keep shoving it in the drawer, there's some blockage there. There's some absolute blockage, and it will affect you and your growth. It absolutely will. What else I would tell you to just lift that lid, lift that bad boy, is assess your people skills, your planning, your strategic thinking, your vision, your results, especially in business. How well are you at communication, speaking, planning, thinking? And this is why you got to put yourself in a growth environment that's going to cause you to practice learning your skills. Maybe you need to level up at speaking. Maybe you need to take a Toastmasters class. Maybe you need to start practicing on Zoom, practicing in the mirror. Maybe you need to take more calls so you can really get good at this, because maybe you're having a low level of confidence because you've never even given yourself time to try. That's what I find with most people. They've never put in the amount of hours. So when I wanted to increase my lid, what I did in the beginning of building my business, because I hated asking for the close. I hated being like, "Hey, do you have any more questions?" I struggled with that. I was deeply afraid of it, actually. But what I knew that I had to do was put myself in a very uncomfortable situation, which was book more meetings. And that's really how I got good at the art of communication, is by doing. So the reason a lot of people have a lid is because they're not doing. You're just not doing the thing that's going to actually help you grow, that's going to actually help you become better at communication, that's going to actually help you increase your vision. Talking about vision, you may have a lid because your vision is limited. Your vision might be limited because of your environment. Let's talk about your environment. When you have a lid on your growth, on your life, a lot of times, if I look directly at your environment, if I look at who's the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with, and if I were to take all of their incomes and it combined and divide it, I would typically find that's probably your income too. That's typically how it goes. And if I'd look at, how do those people live their life? This is why it's so important. The power of proximity is so important. How do people live their life that you spend the most time with? Are they drinking all the time? Are they eating junk food all the time? Are they gossiping all the time? Are they complaining all the time? How are they living their life? You see, I grew up in a small town in the Midwest, and I was always the girl with my head in the clouds, always, like dreaming all the time. I thought a little differently than most people. I was the only one that didn't go to college. And when I started to grow and to realize, oh my gosh, there's more out there for me, I realized that the first thing I had to change was the people I hung out with. And sometimes you may have people that you have grown with. Maybe you grew on a certain path, but maybe you've outgrown them. Like, for real, you might have outgrown them. And I've done this repeatedly in my life, that we used to be equals, and now I've just completely outgrown them, so now I'm more of a mentor to them, which is fine, which is great, but I have to limit my amount of time spending with these people because you become a product of your environment. Your environment is stronger than your willpower. So many times I meet people, and again, I'm like, I could tell you right now that if you're constantly the most motivated person in your friend group, if you're the one that is constantly creating things, doing things, living life by design rather than by default, but everybody else around you is sucking you dry, then you have to change the law of your environment. It's everything when it comes to breaking through your lid. And during the past couple years, we've gotten so comfortable because we've been home a lot. You know, the world has changed so much. And I think people have gotten really stagnant with even being conscious of putting themselves in a growth environment. So you really want to look at, you know, who do I have in my life right now that I'm growing with? What are the friendships that I have a higher frequency, that I gain energy from, that I feel like it's an equal energy exchange? And if you don't currently have them, it's okay. It is okay. But what I'll tell you is if you want to increase your lid, you need to find those relationships that are going to uplift you and they're more on your level. Okay. So looking at the environment, it's so major. Looking at the environment, even of your home, again, you're going to put a lid on your own development. Okay. Depending on how clean is your home? How tight is your stuff? How organized is it? How are you living? All of this deeply impacts the lid. It just does. It just does. So assess that. Assess how in order your stuff is. All the greatest leaders I know, all the people I know that are living a high frequency life, they have their stuff in order. So slow down to speed up, organize, get clean, do get rid of stuff, get rid of people even that make you feel crappy about yourself. Because if you're spending time with people and you feel like you need to take a shower after you're with them, what is that costing you? Like, truly, what is that costing you in your life? It's going to slow you down and it's going to put a lid on your own growth. So, what I have done, you may be thinking, well, oh my God, well, how do I hang out with more motivated people? There's events that you can go to, right? There's programs you can be a part of. These are all things I've done constantly to continue to grow. I actually work with a high level group of 7, 8, 9-figure entrepreneurs that, like, I had to be accepted into the circle because they believe so hardcore in the law of the lid that, and they also believe in the environment that you keep, that you have to, like, be qualified to be in this group, right? But obviously, I've had to get to this level of my life to be in that group. But I will tell you that by me being in a group where I meet these people every Monday, we meet in person a few times a year, we do events together. By me being in proximity to people that have done bigger things than me, that have a fresh perspective on things, that have different wisdom on things, it has increased my vision for my life. Because when you see somebody else that has done something that you want to do, or maybe they've put a different spin on it, it increases your vision. And you have to constantly be identifying your vision and increasing it. And if you can't see it because you've never met somebody who's done something like that, get around people that have. There's different ways you can do it. You got to seek it out. You got to seek it out. What you can do right now is you can choose and achieve a meaningful milestone every day. So this is what I've done every day for over a freaking decade. I do something every single day that kind of makes me go, "Oh god. Like, do I really got to do that? Like, I don't know. Like, oh shit, this kind of scares me a little bit." Like, truly, every day of my life, I do something that's a little like, little uncomfortable. Yeah. It's not about eating the whole elephant here. It's about taking a bite. And you really want to challenge yourself every day. And what that could look like is maybe you going live on Instagram and giving some value and practicing talking and talking about your whatever you sell or your service. It could look like making phone calls that scare you to increase your business. It could be a certain workout that is difficult. It could be, you know, maybe you're changing the way you're eating and it's like, don't think about the whole month. Don't even think about the whole week. Just think about tonight. Think about tonight what you're going to do, right? Every single day. What is something you can do that's going to help you? Because again, in my career, this is how I've continually grown. And I'm so blessed to get messages from so many of you and people that have been with me for a long time. It's a common, beautiful message I get from you. And it's a lot about it's been so fun to watch you continue to grow. And that means so much to me. But I hope we can flip that around and it's exactly the same for you because I'm going to continue to grow. I'm going to continue to stretch. I'm going to continue to do things that most people, quite frankly, only dream of. But why not you? Why not you? That's the thing here. Like, if you're a part of this community, which if you're listening, you absolutely are, like, what is going to be the next level for you? I want to challenge you as your friend, as your mentor, to really think about that and really think about what needs to be fixed that's broken. Really think about your systems that you have in your life and your business. Really assess your people skills, assess your vision, assess your environment, assess what you do every single day because you wouldn't be here if you weren't a leader. And the thing is a lot of people think like, oh, if I want to increase, I got to do more and I got to put more on my plate and I got to just go crazy. And it's not that because you're a leader and I know that you're a leader. What it really is you have to get smarter. You have to work harder to be smarter and you have to focus on being more intelligent about your systems, about how you live your life, and really assess all these things. And yes, this sometimes requires putting yourself in stressful situations. You don't go to a new level by staying comfortable. You just don't. Even at the time that we're connecting here today, I'm stepping forward into a new season of my life that scares me a little bit, but it also exhilarates me and exhilarates my soul. And you know what I mean? It's almost like a God whisper. It's like you feel the whisper and it's pushing you forward, but it's a little scary at the same time. That's a good thing. That's how you know you have hit the sweet spot. You got to lean into those God whispers and you got to say, okay, I'm going to need to stay connected. I'm going to really need to stay connected. And I love this. My buddy Ed Milet, who has just been so transformational in my life. You've probably listened to our episode. If you have not listened to our episode together, you have to. He's just so great. He did a post that I was like, "Oh, this is money. This is so money." And he did this habits of the top 1%. And I just love this post so much because if you're not doing these things I'm going to share with you, you definitely are hitting your lid. And it's okay. Maybe you're in a season of a funk, but let's get out of that funk. Let's absolutely get out of that funk. And so what the habits of the top 1% are is scheduling. It just is. Like, I'm not going to randomly roll through my day. And for some of you that maybe have built businesses and now they're running and they're self-sustaining, it can be really easy to not have a schedule anymore. And that's where you start to decline because you get really stagnant. And sometimes when you've achieved a level of success, you now have more options for your life. And sometimes more options create clouds because you do have the ability to say yes to things. But is that really something that's going to move your life and business forward? You can get really caught up and you stop doing things that once got you to where you are. Okay. So scheduling is major. Planning short and long term goals, top 1%. So I'm always planning. I'm always assessing. You know this if you're connected to me. The 90-day game plan, I'm assessing, I'm planning, I'm looking at what's going on. I'm looking at what I'm doing. I'm looking at what's the next 30 days, what's the next 60 days. Like I'm counting down, when are we going to hit the new year, right? What's the plan after the new year? What's the 5-year plan? Always assessing that. Top 1%, wake up early. Get up early, get your butt up early, have that morning time where you meditate, where you exercise, where you have time for yourself. I can't tell you how many mornings I have certain business partners. And again, I love them and I love their motivation, but they're blowing me up, trying to call, trying to FaceTime, trying to this, trying to that. Nothing wrong with that, but I'm not available that early because I got to get myself right. Sometimes you hit a lid because you stop focusing on yourself. That's why you hit the lid. You stop honoring yourself. You roll out of bed and you go down the scroll hole right away. Want to know the quickest way to feel like crap is to do that. Stop the nonsense because you're sabotaging yourself every single day by doing that. So you stay disconnected from your phone for the first couple hours of the day. Otherwise, you're going to feel cloudy. That's how you hit the lid. You feel cloudy, lid, cloudy lid, cloudy lid. That's just how it goes. Clarity, growth. So think of clear skies, growth, cloudy, lid, raining, thundering. Yeah, you're probably declining at that point. Okay. Reading. Again, you may think you know it all, but if that's where you're at, that's a dangerous place to be. You want to continue evolve, continually read, save to invest. You could have hit a lid because you've just gotten so crazy at spending or just buying things because you think it's going to bring you happiness. And maybe that's hit your lid because you feel out of control. There's no budget. There's nobody assessing your budget. That can make you hit a lid. Okay? Listening to new ideas, the one percenters. You know what? I will just listen all day long. It's part of the reason why that I'm in a collective group of people that are 10 steps ahead of me, some of them more equal, all different areas, but I love to listen to new ideas. I even love to listen to new ideas from people that are in the marketplace. I like to listen to new ideas from my customers. I like to listen to new ideas from everybody because it's a fresh perspective. It's something new. All you need is a new little nugget and you put it in your back pocket. Okay. Always be learning, always be catching new ideas. Sometimes I hear speakers and I've heard them for years and they say the same things over and over and over and over again. And that's cool and stuff. And I get it. But I'm like, you can tell they really haven't grown. There's not a new thing that they're talking about. I always want to be talking about a new thing. I always want to be growing. I always want to be dying to my old self and delivering the new self. I always want to be in that state of improvement. That's how you increase your lid. It absolutely is. And then lastly, seek feedback. I know sometimes it sucks. But when it comes to developing your leadership, when it comes to, you know, really gaining more clarity, sometimes you got to see it from a different perspective. You to have somebody that's going to coach you a little bit, that's going to push you a little bit, that's going to not take your BS. And don't be afraid to ask for feedback. Ask for feedback. It will change the game for you. It's really hard if you try to just do it all alone. I'm going to tell you that right now. Great leaders, level 10 leaders, people that continue to increase, it's not because of just them. It's because of the army of people they've put around themselves, from their colleagues to the people that they do life with, to their teams that they have, to the people that they hire, to the people that they fire. Like, that's what makes a great team. That's what makes a great leader. That's what makes a great person. It is impossible to do it by yourself. I am not self-made. I always tell people that. Sometimes people want to intro me. They're like, self-made, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no, cut the self-made stuff. I'm God-made, but I'm also people-made. A lot of people have helped me get to where I am today and continue to help me get to where I am today. So do not be afraid, because your lid could be that you're such a control freak that you have not hired somebody who has a greater gifting on their life of organization that could help you organize areas of your life that are out of control, chaotic, because you're trying to do it all. So how about hiring someone that you trust, that has a spirit of excellence, that wants to win? That is going to increase your lid tenfolds. I was talking to a friend the other day, and she's trying to do it all herself, and she's a bit of a control freak, and she has a hard time trusting people. And I just said to her, like, she's a mother as well, and I said, listen, you've hit your lid. You have to hire a team. You've got to hire out people that their giftings are doing things that you are not gifted at. And it's the only way you're going to get your increase, because there's 24 hours in a day. And this bonus tip right here, let me give you a bonus tip, is to increase your focus. Your lid could be because you are just not focused. You're cloudy. Let's go back to the clouds. Where's your focus at? Because anybody that achieves any kind of anything, results in health and relationship and faith and business, it's because they're focused. They're focused. We live in an age of distraction, and your lid could be that you are just distracted, my friend. So this was a deep conversation today. Like, I feel like I went straight in with you because you're ready for it. You're ready for it. And as we go into a new season of life, like, I just love where we're at right now. Like, we're about to close on a year. it's just a beautiful time. I love the fall. I think it's so great. I think it's time to assess. Right now leaders are being called. We're in a very interesting season economically. We're in a very interesting season of people just feeling a little lost, a little fragmented, a little fear-based because of what's happening. And we're being called. But if you don't increase your lid, then you won't increase your impact. So this is a very meaningful conversation to me because I just feel like I've understood this law, which, by the way, the law of the lid, I got this from John C. Maxwell, one of my greatest friends and mentors. But it's so important to take a look at it. It's so important to assess it and say, what are the lids on my life? So I hope you're excited. I hope you're like driving right now, listening to this right now, saying, oh, snap, I know what I need to do. And you're going to hashtag lift the lid with me so we can crush it and become the leaders that God created us to be. So thank you so much, and I'll see you next time.